Okay, so I hope you guys can see the screen. So good afternoon, everyone. I think thank you so much for the introduction. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in for our webinar today. So basically, I will be covering more on the Amazon part. So my name is Daver, and I think online I have my colleague Chen Chuan, who is also we are actually part of the regional account manager team here in Amazon Singapore. So we are both based in Singapore, and basically we provide account management support as well as merchandising opportunities to new high potential selling partners to grow their business on Amazon Singapore. Okay. So just to quickly move on. So basically, you can see this is some of the key takeaways that I hope you will kind of work out with from today's webinar. So as the start, I will be covering more on the key insight to Singapore online consumers. And then I will kind of like dive deeper into introduction to Amazon and then why you should choose Amazon Singapore as one of the online channels that you can leverage on to grow your brand presence as a publisher and to bring more revenues to your business. Okay, so at the later part, I will be covering more on the Singapore e-commerce program with ESG and also the next steps on how you can get started on Amazon.sg. Okay, and then we'll conclude with a session with Q&A, and then you can raise your questions there as well. Okay, so the first part of this webinar will be more on the key insight into Singapore online consumers. Okay, so basically this is some of the key trends that we find when it comes to supporting growth rates. So when it comes to the overall internet spending habits in Singapore, we do find that about 60% of the people shop online at least once a month. Whereas out of these 60%, about 38% of the people actually shop online through smartphones at least once a month. Okay, also because of the recent COVID-19 situation where basically there are some adjustment and arrangement needs to be made, there is also an increase of about 14% of people buying more essential items online. Okay, so these trends of going online of basically force a lot of publishers, a lot of the sellers in our platforms to actually leverage more on the online channels to grow their online presence. And there is no better time for you to consider Amazon as one of the channels that you can tap on to grow your business. Okay, so as you can see on the screen itself, so there are a few factors and catalyst events that speed up the change in behavior. So for example, as you can see, because of the COVID-19 situation, a lot of more people actually shop online in terms of the grocery shopping. And then even for non-groceries products, we see a 6% increase of online shoppings. Whereas for in-store shoppings, because of the current circuit breaker measures, basically there's a decrease on basically all in-store physical shoppings on the retail stores. Okay, so moving on is next is actually on the introduction to Amazon. So basically, I understand that some of you might be new, might not be very aware and understand what and who Amazon is. So basically, Amazon is actually a very global company. So we have a very wide global footprint where actually we have more than 18 global websites, whereas Amazon.sg, our Singapore marketplace, is actually number 18 on the list. And then we have more than 27 languages supported, and we have reached customers in more than 185 countries. Okay, so currently we have about more than 300 million worldwide active customers, where about more than 50% of them are actually paid Amazon Prime members. Okay, on top of that, I would also like to share that Amazon has invested a lot of resources in actually in our logistic capabilities and our logistic networks globally, where we have about more than 175 fulfillment centers, and we have more than 190 million square feet of facilities globally. Okay, so basically in Amazon, we have this flywheel, as you can see on the left side of your screen. So the reason why I actually highlight the selection part is because as a seller, as a publisher, basically you will be playing a very significant part in bringing different selections, be it local books, books in Chinese, books in Malay, and etc., to actually our platform. So this product selection, when we have increased this product selection, it will kind of result in a better customer experience. Why? Because when customers browse through our website, they can find what they are looking for, and in turn, it will increase traffic to our platform. Okay, so when there are increased demands in the form of traffic, it can actually attract more sellers, or even as an existing sellers, you will have the opportunity to increase your product selections on Amazon. And in turn, it will becomes a virtuous cycle for our growth. And as a result of that, we can potentially offer like lower cost structure or lower prices and basically provide a better customer experience for both buyers and the sellers. Okay, so there is basically a famous quote by our CEO, Jeff Bezos, which states that we always start with the customers and we work backwards. Okay, so being a customer obsessed company, as a seller, your customers are your buyers or your prospective buyers. Okay, as an account management team in Amazon, our customers is you, which means that we want to work closely with you to actually grow your business and set up your stores and make your business as successful as possible in our platform. Okay, so the next part that I want to cover with is actually more on the why Amazon Singapore. So the very first reason is actually because Amazon actually started as an online bookstore. Okay, so as you can see on the right side of the screen, that's actually our first website. You can see that there's Amazon.com, which is our US marketplace, and then Earth Biggest Bookstores. And basically a little bit more on the history of our company. So in 1994, Jeff Bezos actually started the first ever online bookstores from his garage in Seattle. Okay, so basically he used at that time, about 26 years ago, he used a door for a desk and then would ship the orders out himself. So I think 26 years later, in 2020 now, we have grown into a global company. We have offered more and more product offerings outside books, but books category are actually still our primary categories, and we are still very, very famous as the world's largest bookstore as well. Okay, so I would like to share a little bit more on the development of books category on Amazon as well. So in terms of the buying trends for books year on year, we see that in Singapore itself, it has been significantly growing at 23% as compared to 7% globally. Okay, as for example, Amazon Singapore export sales has increased by 88% by comparing 2011 to 2018. Okay, so as you can see on the right side of the screen, this is some of the examples that for books that have been selling pretty well in our platform. So for example, we have children's books, we have books on business and investing, on religion and spirituality, and recently it's about self-enrichment. So for example, people are staying home a little bit more. So basically are looking for these books for self-enrichment as well. Okay, so specifically on books category on Amazon.sg marketplace. So I am very proud to say that we're actually number one when it comes to the online bookstore in Singapore with more than 17 million titles available for sales. Okay, so in overall outside books category, we have more than 24 categories available for sellers to sell their products for Amazon customers in Singapore. So for example, if let's say you have a very small selection of office products or those items, memorabilia, you can also sell that in Amazon, not to worry. Okay, so in terms of the rank itself, books category is actually ranked second among top hardlines and media category, where books category is also ranked number 5 in terms of the traffics as compared to the overall product categories in our website. So basically, books category is one of the biggest, definitely, and we are still trying to actually gather more product selections, on board more publishers into our platforms to make sure that in terms of customer experience, people can find what they are looking for and can continuously expand our product selections. Okay, so basically in terms of the key differentiating factors, there are certain factors that I would like to bring out. The first one is actually when you're on board as 3P sellers in Amazon, as one of the publishers we are working closely with, you can reach wider audience in Singapore with Amazon paid Prime members. Okay, so just to provide you with some background, so in Singapore and also globally, Amazon has this membership program, so the buyers called Amazon Prime members. So in Singapore, it costs as little as $2.99. And basically, these customers can enjoy a variety of benefits, such as free shipping for orders, even like for Twitch videos and other benefits that they can actually enjoy. So we do find that all these Prime members are actually very committed in browsing our website to keep coming back and basically look for different products to purchase in our platforms. Okay, so the second one is more on our fulfillment by Amazon. So in Amazon, we do have this sales tools and also kind of last mile delivery service called Fulfillment by Amazon. So basically, when using FBA for, let's say, some of your best-selling products, you can focus on scaling up your business and to grow your sales with FBA. Okay, so the third one is actually more on the dedicated account management team. So if let's say you decided, okay, I want to try Amazon and I want to leverage on this ESG grant, basically you will receive a one-to-one account management support for 1 calendar year. So basically one of our account managers will be working closely with you until 31st December 2020. Okay, so maybe some of you might be wondering, okay, I am pretty new to Amazon. I am not very familiar with the platforms. So how can I know whether my books or basically what are the products that has been selling well on Amazon? Okay, so not to worry, we have a very dedicated page called Amazon Bestsellers. So if you go to www.amazon.sg/bestsellers, you can find all these best-selling products, including per category, in books category, and also in different genre or subcategory. So you can head there. And the best thing is that this list is updated hourly. So if let's say you know that, oh, basically so far majority of my buyers have been purchasing my books on weekends. So basically you can actually search this site on any of the weekends to find out what other products that has been selling well. Okay, so the next part that I want to cover is actually more on the key benefits of, let's say, being an account managed seller. Okay, so the first benefit is more on the account management support, which I touched briefly in the earlier slides. So this account management support lasts for 1 calendar year. And this includes our end-to-end account management, including onboarding, listing creation, listing optimization, and also other account support. Okay, so you can work closely with the account managers to actually troubleshoot any issues which can arise along the way as well. Okay, so the second is actually more on the support when using fulfillment by Amazon. So using FBA will help you to get rid of operational resources so you can focus on building your brands and achieve your annual revenue target. Okay, the third one is actually more on the deals and sales optimization. So by being an account managed sellers, you will have an additional exposures when it comes to running promotions, getting your products featured on deal of the day, on best deal or lightning deals, and it will help to provide with additional product exposures and optimize your sales. Okay, so we can go through quickly one by one. So when it comes to the account management support, it consists of four basic steps. The first one is the account registration. So your account manager will assist you with the seller identity verification process in preparing the necessary documents. And then the second component is the listing of products. So your account manager will be assisting you as well with the account creation, with the listing creation and listing optimization to make sure that your products can be actually showcased basically well in our search result. Okay, the third one is more on the fulfillment methods. So we have two different fulfillment methods. One is fulfillment by merchant. So let's say if you want to fulfill the orders from your own warehouse, from your own office, you are free to do so. But if you intend to use FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon, your account manager will also assist you with the FBA shipment preparation, with the labeling, and any other issues that you might encounter during the preparation. Okay, so the last part is actually more on the selling and the promoting your products. So as I mentioned earlier, you have additional exposures, which is only exclusive to account managed sellers on basically getting your products on deals on today's deals page to make sure that we have an increased exposures. Okay, so when it comes specifically to listing creation support, so just to share with you some of the very common methods for some of the publisher that I've been working with, is that you can create the listings via bulk upload method. So this is just a sample of the flat file spreadsheet that we have been using to ensure the listings can be created at scale. So there are 14 required fields for the listing creation, such as the product SKU, which is basically SKU can refer to the ISBN itself, depending on how you basically tag and identify each product in your internal system. So basically, some of the required fields are the ISBN, the publishers, author, binding, key product features, price, quantity, and etc. So basically, basically after you can provide us with all this information, we will help you with the upload and make sure that everything is in place so that the listings can be created seamlessly. Okay, so the next part that I want to cover is more on the fulfillment by Amazon. So we have this saying, you sell it and then we ship it. So some of the benefits of fulfillment by Amazon is actually Amazon will handle the logistic. So you can handle the business side of things. So you can eliminate the fulfillment headaches, and basically for FBA, it consists of 6 basic steps. For example, if let's say you want to send your top 3 to 5 book titles, which are best sellings or basically new releases. So you can send it in bulk to our warehouse, and then our warehouse associate will then receive the shipment, and then we will actually store the items. For every single orders made for that item, Amazon will then pick, pack, and ship the books from our warehouse in an Amazon polybag or Amazon box, and then we will actually deliver that within 48 hours to the customers. Okay, so all these FBA products will be eligible to participate in the different deals and events and campaigns that is happening throughout the years as well. Yeah, so in terms of the running deals and promotion, so as you can see on the right side of the screen, it's actually a screenshot of our homepage of Amazon.sg. So if you go to the today's deals page, so you can actually browse through the different deals that is happening for that particular time. So there are 3 deals type. One is deal of the day, and then lightning deals, which is similar to flash sales. And then the third one is savings and sales. So by running deals, it will allow you to actually improve your long-term discoverability of your products. And then potentially you can increase your sales across the different book titles you're selling. Okay, so in terms of the holiday season calendar, so basically this is just a screenshot of the different tier 1 and tier 2 events that will be happening in 2020. So as you can see, if you join us now at the end of May, there's a good 6 to 7 months for you to actually work closely with the account managers, make sure the account has been set up properly, the listing has been created, and then you will have all this opportunity in Q3 and Q4 specifically to participate in the different events to actually promote your products and increase your sales on Amazon. Okay, so when it comes to the fee structures, it's actually divided into 2. So if let's say on the top part, if you're using your own fulfillment, let's say you want to fulfill the orders yourself. So either ways, whether fulfilled by a merchant or fulfilled by Amazon, the monthly subscription fees are actually waived until end of December 2020 as part of the waivers that we are doing to support sellers. Okay, so in terms of referral fees, it's actually 10% plus $1 closing fee. And then if you are using fulfillment by merchant, basically you can determine your own fulfillment fees and fulfillment time. So for example, you can ship it within 2 days, the cost is $5. And or let's say you can ship it within 3 days and the cost will be a bit lower, or $3, for example. Okay, so when you're using FBA, it consists of 2 different components. One is the storage fee, which is 12.84 Singapore dollars per cubic meter per month. Okay, but not to worry, we actually don't charge based on the 1 cubic meter. We charge based on product dimension. Okay, so for example, if you have book title A, and then you want to send, let's say, one piece of this, one quantity of these books to FBA. So for example, let's say you can fit 100 of these books in 1 cubic meter. So the storage fee per month is actually 12.84 divided by 100. Okay, so 12 cents per month. And then for every single orders, there's a fulfillment fee of 2.7 to $13.59 per unit. So just to give you a sense of, if let's say your item is a normal size item, standard size item like books, it weigh about, let's say 1 kilogram. So fulfillment fee should be around $3 to $3.50. Okay, so the next part that I want to cover quickly is actually more on the Enterprise Singapore e-commerce program. So I think Cecilia has touched briefly on the requirements and the eligibility. So there are 4 different requirements when it comes to be eligible for this ESG grant. One is that your business entity has to be registered or incorporated in Singapore. And then you have a minimum of 30% local shareholding. And then company annual turnover is not exceeding $100 million per annum, or let's say group employment not exceeding 200 employees. Okay, so more importantly in Amazon, if let's say you're interested to sign up on Amazon as a 3P seller, third-party sellers, basically one of the requirements is that you must not have an existing Amazon Singapore selling account before 1st April 2020. So in the event that you have signed up before through services or Amazon SG or any other channels, so basically you will not be eligible to apply and to be eligible for the grant. Okay. Okay, so in terms of the account management support provided, okay, so we understand that when it comes to starting out in a very new marketplace, if let's say you're already selling in other marketplace and then you are considered a new one, basically we understand that there will be additional supports needed when it comes to making sure that things are off to a very good start. Okay, so if let's say you're interested to leverage on ESG grant, and then okay, let's say you want to sign up as a seller in Amazon. So in terms of the account management support, we will actually support you in 4 key components based specifically on your business deal. So one is the foundational component, and then the second is the operational. The third one is the marketing, and then the fourth one is more on the training and support. Okay, so to elaborate these 4 components in more details, so as you can see on the screen itself, so when it comes to the foundational part, it actually consists of account management and product listing. Okay, so all these basically services will be provided by your account manager. You can work closely with your account manager to make sure that on the onboarding process is as smooth as possible. The account setup is actually as seamless as possible. Okay, so when it comes to the product listing, so on the listing creation process, like I mentioned earlier, so what we need from you is that basically all this information, all this ISVN, product title, and etc. So once we have that compiled and ready to go, what we can do is that we can actually engage our internal listing creation team to actually upload all the informations for you on your behalf. Okay. So in terms of the product packaging on FBA and the labeling, you can work closely with your account manager as well. So on the operational side, on the channel management and Amazon related fees, so when it comes to understanding the referral fees, the warehousing of the FBA products and the FBA fulfillment fees, you can work closely with your account managers. And basically Amazon Singapore also has different features to do business analytics. So for example, you want to see your reports, which of the book titles has been selling well, basically, is there any repeated buyers on these book titles? You can actually analyze that on some of the features available in our platform. Okay, so when it comes to the marketing side of things, so like I mentioned earlier, we can actually support you further when it comes to running deals, getting your product features on the deals page, and etc. Okay, so lastly is actually on the training and support. So in terms of the training workshops and additional resources, not to worry, along the way, we will actually organize the different webinars, different trainings, both online and hopefully offline soon, once basically the situation has been kind of like under control. So all these training and supports will cover different kind of topics. It can be on the onboarding side, it can be on FBA, it can be on listing optimization, and etc. Okay. Okay, so the next part that I want to cover quickly is actually more on the grant coverage. So in a nutshell, in summary, this ESG grant will actually cover Amazon related fees, which actually consists of the referral fees and the applicable FBA fees. Okay, so let's say, for example, in the event that you want to use FBA for your products. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, in terms of the summary of the fees, the monthly subscription fees are waived anyway until end of December 2020. But when it comes to the referral fees and the fulfillment fees, it will be covered and it's actually claimable by using the ASG grant. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, it's actually a one-time support of up to $9,000 to defray about 90% max of eligible costs for up to 6 months. Okay, so on top of that, basically we will be providing you with the 1 calendar year complimentary account management support free of charge, and the waiver of like all deals exposures on Amazon.sg. Okay, so just an illustration of how you can actually strategize on the grant. So example, so if let's say you are selling this book, Becoming, hardcover by Michelle Obama. So let's say your selling price is $50. So without the e-commerce booster package, so if let's say you use FBA for these products, the referral fees will be 10% times plus the additional $1. And then there's also FBA fulfillment fees of 2.63 and storage fee of 2 cents a month, for example. Okay, so the total Amazon fee related is actually $8.65, which means that it will leave you with $41.35 revenue. Whereas if let's say you use the ESG e-commerce booster package, which is 90% claimable, so in terms of the fees that you are supposed to pay, basically it's only a 10% of that, which is only 86 cents, which means that it will leave you with a significantly higher revenue that you can actually leverage on to basically invest somewhere else in your business. Okay, so that's basically this to sum up the ESG grant. So how do you get started? Okay, so there are a few steps that you need to do when it comes to kind of like indicating your interest to this ESG grant on Amazon.sg. So basically, you need to prepare first your UEN and also your SSIC code. Okay, so basically the next one is you can apply via amzn.to/ESG booster. So this is a shortened URL. And then you need to wait for the verification by ESG. Basically, if let's say your SSIC code does not start with 47, and then once everything is in place, ESG has approved that you are eligible for the ESG grant, you can register for your Amazon Singapore seller account using a registration link. It's a unique link sent to your email address by your account manager. Okay, so basically when it comes to the application requirements, you can apply via the link itself. So for example, on the registration page itself, once you click on the unique registration link sent to your email, there are 2 additional documents that you need to provide to register for a selling account. One is actually the passport or driving license. The second is bank account statement or credit card statement. Okay, so not to worry, your account manager will provide you with more information on what is the requirements for each of the documents, which pages you need to submit, etc. Okay, so you can work closely with the account manager to make sure that the registration can go as smoothly as possible. All right, so in the event that you have more questions, or let's say, oh, I need more information on FBA, on the referral fees, on the different features, so you can email us at amazonsellersg@amazon.sg. Okay, so we have also our Facebook page, fb.com/AGSSEA. But more importantly, if let's say you have any more questions or you need more information on selling on Amazon.sg as a third-party sellers, you can actually head to our website at services.amazon.sg to find out more information on selling on Amazon as a 3P sellers, and also some of the key information for you to get started on Amazon.sg. Okay. Yeah, so that is about it from my end. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I think we can also move on to Q&A session in case there are any questions asked by the audience.
Yeah, okay, I think I'll take it from here. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Sofina and I'm an SDP intern. And together with Azwan and Cecilia, I'll be co-hosting today's Q&A segment. So thank you very much, Deva, for that presentation. So now that we have reached the question and answer portion for the Amazon presentation, we will go ahead and take some questions for Deva and Chen Chuan. So just a reminder, if you have any questions you would like to ask our presenters during this Q&A segment, please use the raise hand function and Azwan will invite you to unmute your microphone. And also thank you to Melissa for answering the questions in the chat and Q&A box. Okay, so first let's go to the Q&A questions. I believe we have 2 questions. So Foon Kok Hua asks, is on-site advertising included in the ESG grant? How much advertising is provided?
Okay, sure. Yeah, thank you so much for the question. So when it comes to on-site advertising, I think from my side, in summary, like I mentioned in the webinar itself, there are 2 main channels that we can leverage on. So one is actually on the Today's Deals page. So basically this Today's Deals page is a dedicated page which is updated from time to time, even like 6 hours for lightning deals. Okay, so this dedicated page is actually will give you more exposures for their products. It's actually one of the first entry points that people are actually visiting when basically using our website. So there is the Today's Deals page. By being an account managed seller, what you can do is that you can work with your account manager. You will have these exposures. Basically, if let's say you sign up organically through our website, you will these sellers will not have these exposures on let's say showcasing the products in Today's Deals page. Okay, the second part is more on the different campaigns throughout the year. So for example, I mentioned earlier in the webinar about the different shopping events throughout the year. So for example, if let's say you want to provide promotions for let's say 11/11 or 12/12 at the end of the year. Okay, so what you can do is that you can work closely with your manager as well. So you can, let's say you can provide 10% discount for some of the best-selling products, and then we can actually try to basically include these SKUs into the event page itself. Yeah, so those are the two on-site advertising that basically we can provide for you as an account managed sellers.
September 21 is asking, given that Lazada, Shopee, and Q10 are the more well-known online shopping platforms for Singapore, how will me signing up on the Amazon platform be more beneficial to me?
Right. Yeah, I think there's a very good question. So I think thank you so much for the question. So yeah, I do understand that in Singapore there is not only like one e-commerce platform. So basically, what I can say is that Amazon, as a company, as a marketplace, be it in Singapore, be it in the US, we actually are very famous as the one of the biggest online bookstores. So I think when it comes to the different e-commerce marketplaces, I wouldn't really talk much about that. But as Amazon itself, we are very strong when it comes to the products and the books offering. So for example, like I mentioned earlier in the webinar, we started as an online bookstores. Currently, we have more than 70 million book titles, be it from local publisher in Singapore or be it from the overseas publisher. So we are very famous for that, and people are actually browsing through and looking through Amazon to find the book titles specifically that they want. So some of the other platforms might be stronger in other categories, but for Amazon itself, one of the stronger categories that we have right now is actually books category. And when you sign up, as a seller, as a new seller in Amazon, basically there are a list of buyers who specifically look for books in our marketplace, and there is going to be a very plus point because we have the demand and we need you to basically provide more supply for us.
Now we will turn to Catherine Koo. I believe she has a microphone ready. Catherine, are you ready to speak?
Yes, hi. Sorry, you didn't you didn't ask my question, so I actually keyed it in. Yeah, the ESG grant that is here is only valid for 6 months, I see. So what will be the cost to us publishers after the 6 months?
Okay, yeah, thank you so much for the question. So yeah, basically the ESG grant will cover a time frame of 6 months. So when it comes to the different costs of selling on Amazon Singapore, like what I mentioned, the monthly subscription fees is 29.95, but it's going to be waived until 31st December 2020. So for example, if you start in June and then 6 months after in November, then basically the waiver will still exist until 31st December 2020. Okay, but let's say after the ESG grant has passed in terms of the duration, so there are one additional cost that you need to consider, which is the referral fee. So basically, referral fee is 10% plus $1 closing fee for every books. Okay, these referral fees, and let's say if you use FBA, both of these are claimable under ESG. But once the 6 months has been over, so basically these fees are applicable and will be kind of like charged according to successful transactions in Amazon.sg.
Okay. So we'll turn back to one more question from September 21. And she's asking, what sort of API commands will you release to us? If the command does not already exist, will you be able to work together with our selected ERP vendor?
Okay, so can I confirm the question is on API connection?
API commands.
Okay, sure. So when it comes to the, thank you so much for the question, first of all. So when it comes to the API connection, so in Amazon, we do have this AWS, which is kind of like the marketplace for developers to develop their API, etc. So basically, we are actually working with a few kind of like third-party API service providers as well. So if let's say you have your internal API to connect to our marketplace in Amazon, so what your account manager can do is we can actually provide you the API documentation. So in the sense that you can actually sign up for developer ID, and then basically you can play around with the documentation to connect your API to our platform. So this API includes like API for orders, FBA, stocks, inventory, and etc.
Okay, so sorry, Betty Tan is asking a question. She said, upon ESG approval, do we pay you $10,000 upfront?
Okay, I believe basically there will not be any payment upfront. So basically for the ESG grant, it covers up to $9,000. So to sign up as a third-party seller on Amazon is actually free of charge. Okay, so the account management is also free of charge. We are giving a lot of waivers on the professional monthly fees, on the deals. This $9,000 basically is on the reimbursement basis. So basically you can make payment for whatever orders in Amazon, the referral fees, etc. And then you can reimburse the 90% of it. But I believe there won't be any upfront $10,000 payment.
Yeah. Okay. So several more questions.
Sure.
Gaurav asks, can international publishers having a registered company in Singapore sell on Amazon SG?
Yes. So basically, if I think if you want to sell on Amazon.sg, basically, yes, you can. But when it comes to the ESG grant eligibility, basically it has to be assessed by Enterprise Singapore as well. So like I mentioned earlier in the webinar, there might be some of the additional requirements like the shareholders, local shareholders, and also the number of staff, etc., which might kind of make the company of the publishers are not eligible for the ESG grant.
Okay. So let me scroll through the Q&A box. Okay. Syed Ali asks, Amazon does not recognize Singapore local ISBN. When will it resolve the issue?
Sure. Thank you so much for the question. So yeah, basically, yeah, apologies for the inconveniences. So basically, we have been having certain issues with local ISBN. We are still trying to fix the issues, definitely. So it's actually one of the my top priorities as of now, basically. And I think in terms of time frame, unfortunately, I will not be able to provide a fixed time frame, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we will hear back and basically get some answers to how to best move forward with these issues on the some of the ISBN which kind of like are not exactly recognized in our system.
So Foon Kok Hua asks, so for today's deals and yearly campaigns, do we need to pay any extra fees?
Right. Thank you so much for the question. So the answer is no. So basically, for the for a placement to be featured onto this deal space, etc., is actually free of charge. But basically, when it comes to the discount, let's say you want to provide 10% discounts, for example. So these discounts will come from the seller itself. Okay. So for the placement of the on the deals page, it's going to be free of charge, but on the discount part, it has to be borne by the seller.
Okay. And another question from this questioner. He asks, how is Amazon SG different from Amazon.com? We are already listing books through KDP and our books are already listed on Amazon.sg.
Understand. Yeah, I think there are two parts of this question. So the first part is how is Amazon.sg different than Amazon.com? So Amazon.com is actually our US marketplace, which actually is serving customers globally. So our Amazon.sg is actually the 18th marketplace. It's a different marketplace that we launched in October last year. So Amazon.sg is serving customers in Singapore only. Okay, so those are the main difference. So in terms of the subscription fees, the referral fees, and the FBA fees, because it's two different marketplaces, so it's different when it comes to the fees. Okay, so and the second part of the question was, I think, okay, one of the seller has listed
Through
the listings through other business entities, is it?
yes.
Okay, so basically, as per my knowledge, if let's say because when you register for a selling account in Amazon.sg, you will need to enter the identity verification, and also if let's say you have a business entity, you can enter the business registration number as well. So I believe if let's say you want to create a new account under your own, and then your kind of like your business registration code has not been registered in Amazon previously, I think it should be eligible for the ESG grant provided you meet the requirements.
Dave, this is Melissa here. So I think the second part of the question is related to KDP, where the titles are listed via Amazon.com. So it's already available on Amazon SG. That is correct. So customers can still choose to purchase those titles via KDP or slash Amazon.com into Singapore. So that can is still available to customers in Singapore. For the vendor itself or for the publisher themselves, if they want to choose to list the products locally, I believe they can do so, but they will need to fulfill the as a 3P seller, they will need to fulfill the orders to customers locally by themselves. So it will become a new and different listing.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I hope
Melissa.
that answers the question.
We have 10 more minutes, so we'll take a few more questions. So Syed Ali is asking, how do we recover the referral fees? Will Amazon bill us monthly and we recover the grant from ESG?
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Patricia Ali. So when it comes to the referral fees, so for the ESG grant, it will be on the reimbursement basis. So when it comes to the referral fee will be charged based on every successful transactions. Okay, so this basically will be billed to you. So on the ESG grant, so what can be done is that once you are approved for the grant, so there is a certain mechanism where you can actually make a claim, let's say a reimbursement claim to ESG, and then you can fill in some basic forms with the invoice from Amazon, and then basically you will be reimbursed on the 90% of the referral fees itself.
Okay. One more question from Syed Ali. Will Amazon be involved in the regional e-commerce or e-commerce booster package by ESG?
The regional ESG e-commerce booster, is it?
Yes, I'll repeat the question. Will
Sure,
Amazon
sorry.
be involved in the regional e-commerce booster package by ESG?
Yeah, so I think this is the ESG e-commerce booster package, which was announced I think a couple of months back. So I'm not too sure on the regional part, but for our Amazon.sg, we are actually serving customers in Singapore only for now. Yeah, I hope that answers the questions.
Okay. Yeah, I think we have answered almost all the questions on the Q&A box. What about you, David? Is there anything else you would like to add to your presentation?
I think that should be it from my end, but basically just a quick closing remark. So basically myself and Chen Chuan in this course, we are actually part of the account management team in Amazon.sg. So basically we are also are focusing on the books category as well. So basically because after the presentation, we do hope that basically you can consider Amazon as one of the options, basically one of your top options to go online, provided that you haven't used the ESG grant with other e-commerce platform. Okay, so we look forward to work closely with you to assist you with the account management part for let's say until 31st December 2020. There's still plenty of time. And yeah, Chen Chuan, any last remarks before we end?
No, but really looking forward to working with all of you to help us increase our local book selection. Yep.
Okay, I am so sorry. I know we are about 8 minutes early, but we keep getting questions coming in.
Sure.
Sorry, can I just make one remark to add on to David's point? I think earlier there was a question also on the platforms online that are available to publishers and sellers in Singapore, and why choose Amazon. So we encourage you to actually be selling on all online platforms if it's possible. I mean, we do hope that you sign up on the ESG grant with us, but at the same time, if you have already signed up with another platform, we still do encourage you to sign up with Amazon as well. I think as much as we can extend the exposure of your titles and your books for you, that would be beneficial for everyone. So I think the point is to not limit to just one platform in Singapore.
Thank you for that, Melissa. So there's 2 more questions actually. September 21 is asking, are we allowed to trial it before committing?
I'm not very sure on trial on selling on Amazon or trial on the ESG grant itself. So I think when it comes to the selling on Amazon, when you sign up as a 3P sellers, like from our team, with our team, so basically it offers a bit more flexibility. So if let's say you want to sign up as a seller first, okay, you indicate your interest for ESG grant, then you basically you want to start selling in the first 1 or 2 weeks, and then you find out that all this platform is basically not very my thing. So basically you can have the options to close the accounts at any time. Yeah, but for the ESG grant, I believe once you sign up for the ESG grant, as much as possible, I think we should try as much as possible to leverage on the grant itself. Yeah.
And one final question. This
Sure.
question was asked in advance. So this is from Lynn from Nurture Craft. She says, can we sell subscription and can the delivery be handled by us?
Okay. Okay, very good question. So, okay, when it comes to the delivery, definitely a seller can have the options under fulfillment by merchant, which is basically seller can deliver the goods themselves. So when it comes to the seller, I'm not very sure subscription fees means that I don't think the feature is available yet. So basically when it comes to this, okay, let me think for a little bit.
I think if this question is with regards to subscribe and save or subscription on Amazon SG, yeah, this feature is not available at this point. So as of today, you're not able to sell subscription titles on Amazon SG and then deliver that by ourselves. But then it's a feature that we will actually be looking into as well. So in future, when we are able to enable this feature, we can have this discussion.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Melissa.
Okay, that's all the questions we have for Amazon. So if you have any further questions, please email them to us and then we'll redirect those queries to our presenters. So
Yep.
now we'll have Azwan. So thank you very much. So sorry, Chen Chuan.
Yeah, I think thank you so much FVPA for having us. So basically, like what Melissa said, even though you might not utilize the ESG grant with us, so basically, if let's say you sign up as an account managed seller, we'll be working closely with you. Some of the account management benefits will still be valid when it comes to the support that we will give. So do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are happy to connect with you. We are happy to onboard you to our platform and basically work together to grow your business.